Welcome to a very special episode of O2N Life Styled. I'm Nicole, Dyer, Griffith.
And I'm Richard Young.
And you know, Richard, the O2N Foundation was founded in 2015 because we firmly believe in the power of the human spirit to overcome, inspire, and to give each other hope by being our best, simply by sharing, celebrating, and encouraging each other. That is why our motto is to create, connect, and cohere.
Indeed. Nicole, the word cohere, which means to come together, to form a whole. That is the heart and soul of what we do. I remember one of our first episodes was in 2015 when we developed the O2N Human Development Series. Catherine, Liz, including me. Remember, I was there, and then we went on to Guyana, Antigua, and we had an episode in New York.
I remember that very clearly, Richard, because that, as I mentioned before, is essentially the genesis of the O2N Foundation. It was born out of my own need to breathe. I felt suffocated after a political experience, and I just needed to be oxygenated. And I remember reaching out to a friend, Karen, and she and I having this conversation about the importance of creating safe spaces for persons to create, to connect, and to cohere. Hence the birth of the first O2N Human Development Series in 2015 with all of the wonderful people that you would have mentioned. So that was really quite special. And then taking it overseas, into the Caribbean and internationally.
Such an honor to be here breathing in the oxygen in this room with so many wonderful people. When Nicole phoned and asked me, she said she wanted me to speak today. I thought, what could I add? What could I bring of value to the podium? And I never tell Nicole no, so I said yes. And then I realized I have to speak. So here I am. So what I thought I would do is that I would begin my first 10 minutes by telling you a little bit about the women who have influenced my life in Trinidad and Tobago. They walk among us. These are, I could think of dozens of them, but they're just two. Don't be too worried. There are two that came to mind that just have given so much and have mentored me. And I'm really grateful for them. So I thought I would talk about them and their projects, the first 10 minutes, and then I would talk a little bit about myself. Because when I started to examine who I was with Nicole's question, I found that once I opened that story, I learned so much about myself, and I would like to share it with you.
My name is Elizabeth Montano, née Elizabeth Romaine. I was born in Carenage in 1950, so at present I'm moving towards 65. I went to St. Crispin Anglican School in Woodbrook, and then went on to St. James Secondary after being a late call. I remember in my primary school, I liked to play and liked to talk. So when the common entrance results came out, I didn't pass. But I went home and sat in the toilet and prayed and said, God, you can't fail me. I can't fail. Although I used to play and didn't really deserve to pass, So, but I prayed. And fortunately, my prayers came through. One morning I heard my teacher saying, Romaine Batson and Car, Romaine Batson and Car. And we went up to Mr. Noel, who was our principal, and he said, go down to St. James Secondary School and you're late call. So we walked down to St. James Sec, and I remember standing in front of all those bright children who had passed before me, and I was saying to myself, excuse my words, I say, you see all the bitches, none of them will beat me here after today. I did say it, sorry, but I did say it, And so said, so done. I remember being one of the top students in St. James Secondary School and going on to get 6 O-levels, then went on to start A-levels, but left and went to Mausaka Teachers College in 1969, where I met my husband, Winston Montano, and we got married in 73.
My story is, and it's in process, learning to love self. And it's not as easy as that statement is. When we look in the mirror, genetically you might be a little blessed. You might have money in your pocket, but in a quiet moment, you are not so self-loving. I've had many of those quiet moments. But in that reevaluation moment, I worked out ways for people to start loving themselves. So I have transposed that into the work I do. And that's what I do all the time. I have to do it all the time because I don't want that empty moment to come up. Because it goes back there. It's like a zombie. So it became my métier, it became my vocation, it became my raison d'être to constantly make us be more loving of self, which I use the fashion story to tell. And that's why I empower people who are in the creative industries to do it their way.
So I'll just give you an overview of Oxygen with Nicole. In 2010, coming out of the political experience, Oxygen with Nicole was founded as a result of the thickness of the air that resided in our country around that period. And it somehow is being replicated now. When you look at the political divide in this country, it's either left or right. You're one way or the next. And if you're down the center, sometimes you feel as though you're in no man's land. And it's because of that feeling of being in no man's land that sometimes you tend to feel that you're grasping for oxygen. And hence the birth of Oxygen with Nicole, giving persons the opportunity to be able to breathe, the opportunity to be able to share positive experiences, to enlighten and to lift others. And as a result of that, I partnered with International Creative Director Richard Young, and we developed the Oxygen with Nicole concept and the safe space concept, which started essentially creating a safe space for women, where other women will be able to share their stories, to create, to connect, and to cohere. And you know, Richard, I also remember in 2017 when violence against women was at an all-time high, and then we created personal safety interventions to give everyone a fighting chance. And so we had the response, and then we had the Fighting Chance initiative, which was held in collaboration with Hyatt Regency, with the Hotel in Tobago, Grafton Beach Resort, I believe, and it was so well done.
Yeah, and in 2018, which is very dear to me, the O2N Foundation had a creative Caribbean collaboration, O2N Styled. In 2018, we did in 2019, then we added Style at Hyatt, and you know that's where my heart and soul lie.
I know. And that was certainly some type of journey. More when we come back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. In 2019, we started the creative conversation. We did that in 2019 and 2020. Another one that is dear to my heart because of the reach we made, the people that we brought on board, and the extensive outreach that was had with what we did. I particularly like the creative conversations.
I know that's one of your favorites.
I was a little white girl growing up down the islands and so on, and I really didn't know my culture, you know. I was an observer. I came back to Trinidad on vacation, but with creative people. I came back with people who were in film, and they were like, oh my God, this music, this culture, this carnival, we have to do something.
I believe that we need to invest in our infrastructure, our creative infrastructure. So what should be next, which is a contorted version of what you asked, should be something along the line of investing in the infrastructure for creativity.
Hi, Richard. Thanks very much to you and Nicole for having me.
Yeah.
As individuals give up certain things to the government with the expectation that there would be a return. The primary one is safety, of course, right? So we, instead of being nomads and so on, we say we live in a group and we let somebody lead and organize this place so that the wolves and the bears and the raiders and whatever we would be safe.
You know, the special thing about the O2N Foundation is that we always respond when there needs to be a response. So When I can't remember the exact date, but there was a national tragedy in Antigua and Barbuda. You recall with the hurricane that devastated most of Antigua and Barbuda and a bit of Dominica. The O2N Foundation responded to that call with what we call the Colmana Telethon. And we had done that in collaboration with Synergy TV, and we amassed so much assistance, support, and donations for our brothers and sisters in Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica, so that was a really special one. Another intervention that we participated in was when one of the members of the OECS, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, were devastated. So we participated and collaborated with the OECS and a number of other partner agencies to host Stronger Together. We are a global family. I think, Richard, that was one of our marquee.
Okay, that's a milestone. It was a milestone because of the people who came on board to endorse it, the reach we had. And in fact, the money that was got, that was handed to the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to help. Because in addition to the fact that it was housed in the COVID space, there was devastation because of the rain and the flooding and the mud, and it was horrible. And we were able to get a lot of our creatives throughout the Caribbean space, the OACS as well as CARICOM, to join in and support our great cause. It was really a clarion call.
It was.
Welcome to Stronger Together. I'm Nicole Dyer Griffith.
And I am Richard Young.
And we're coming to you from Trinidad and Tobago, today connecting with our Caribbean brothers and sisters worldwide.
Yes, indeed, Nicole. We are gathering to bring attention to the plight of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines after the eruption of the La Soufriere volcano.
Stronger, we better together now. Stronger, we better together. Stronger, we better together. Stronger, we better. Growing stronger. We're better together. Hands in the air together. Tell them we're better together. We're stronger, stronger, stronger. Come let me do this together.
Feel to give up, but we must try, like lightning and thunder, like water and powder. We better together, and baby we're stronger. Feel the temperature rise up, and when the water spring from my eye drop, it's lesson time and I better learn. It feels so good, but then it burns.
Dear promoter, hey, you see that trust in there? Got something on the way. We don't need a fancy stage, fella. Once that Trini reaching your vet is nice. Boy, hands in the sky, we bring the vibes. Once we reaching your vet is nice. Boy.
Next up, we have a strong contingent from Jamaica, Nicole.
And guess who's one of them? It's the girls, them sugar.
Let's head right out to Jamaica.
Oh, na, 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 na. Oh, na, 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 na. Sim Simmer, who got the keys to my bimmer? Oh my, the guys them sugar. How can I make love to her? Then I'm in a rush. Pass me the keys to my chucks. Oh my, the guys them luck. And I now will make love to pressure. Sim Simmer, who got the keys to my bimmer? Oh my, the girls them sugar, so how can I?
And dirty heart can't sweep with broom, and they are like the trees they can't bloom, and they shall surely fade away. Well I know, dirty heart can't wash with soap. The meditation twist up like rope, and they shall slowly. What's Sasko say? Sasko say, hear me no remain, no for them now go like that junior. Why? Bad mind stuck in the made like a tumor. Them fake like 3 stripes, but like made by Puma. Tell what leap lies for the leap of rumor.
Y'all ready? I woke up this morning and I feel it nice. But the path that I chose, I come feel balance so fine. As long as I'm living, my future is shaping. I know where I am headed. Got no time for problems. All the weights on your shoulders. Put your problem behind you. If you fall, then you get a man. Get your head out the dirt line. And when they're trying to bad mind you, and they talking behind you, so they're nothing but the you. Put your hands in the air, everybody. Alley, 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 alley. Time
Make your pledge now. Stronger together. We are a global family.
I want y'all to be resilient and just definitely know that Motto is here to support the vibes all the way.
Stronger together, we are a global family. Love ya.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall from the sky every time you walk by?
And I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
It's a dance thing, sir. Eat up something, sir. Let's go. You know, champion. Say what? Let's go. Rock this party. Dance. Make it hot. Don't stop. Move your body.
My heart is with yours. I just want to say that I believe in the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I know that things are going to be better. You know why? Because we're going to stick with you all over the Caribbean. We are going to be, and we are your family, because we are stronger together. We are a global family. Much love to all the people in St. Vincent. Mwah.
More when we come back.
Welcome back. I mean, Nicole, it really, I don't want to get too emotional, but it brings some tears to my eyes because of the response we got, because we are engendering compassion, which is natural to us as humans, and sometimes we don't do enough of it. Calling people to show and demonstrate love in the real way, and that made me really feel that we were doing something fulfilling and actionable, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know, Richard, particularly with that Power of Four score, touched us in so many ways, because I recall the few days before that event, we had a conversation with the late Hazel Brown, because Hazel was supposed to have been a guest and one of our featured guests in the Power of Four score. And, you know, she transitioned on that very week.
Yes.
That was something.
It made us recognize how important it is to give people their flowers when they're here.
Exactly.
And that was the reason we did it. And the name seems to have punched, because the Power of Four score, the strength of people who have crossed four score on this planet Earth and still being able to contribute. And the response at the Hyatt was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you were a little nervous thinking, because we have a way of being ageist. So we thought that the response to older folks speaking might have not, you know, create the traction we wanted, but it definitely did that.
It did. I was really pleasantly surprised, and I was more pleasantly surprised because the mass of younger persons in the audience, and they all just sat there just soaking in all the information by those persons who were on the stage. So much so, you remember, they didn't want to leave.
They didn't want to leave.
The show ended and they were still sitting there.
Get home safely, and no one had left, you know. They just sat there.
It validated the Power of Four score. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a tragedy for the younger people in the country not being given an opportunity to read the history. People have written about them, about Sir Ellis, Hugh Woden, Solomon Hochoy, Dodd Allen, all these people Maxwell Phillip, in 1885, Pudam David, a colored man, less than 50, won an Isla scholarship from QRC College. That was less than 50 years after the abolition of slavery. And I sit down today, I enjoy talking to young people.
And Ruth?
I would say to the young people, have faith in God and worship Him daily. He's your only help. Also, I would say, educate yourself. Without education, there's little hope for progress. And I would say, be honest and respectful in whatever you do.
And what about the We Are a Global Family?
We are a global family. Again, I remember during the COVID period, one of the things we did as an organization was to shift the paradigm in the way in which we do business. Generally, we had to design an intervention that would touch all parts of the globe and still be able to be housed in one space. Hence the birth of We Are a Global Family, where we touched persons from everywhere. I remember from Maldives, from the US, from UK, from Australia, from wherever, Morocco, I remember. And they all just sent in a video speaking about why we're a global family and the importance to remain connected and to cohere around the paradigm of being part of a family during the COVID period.
And we support the O2N.
I share the vision of O2N Foundation.
We are a global family.
And acknowledge our global essential services
as our frontline defenders.
Let's breathe life
into our frontline defenders.
Into our frontline defenders.
Our nurses, our doctors,
the police officers, the fire officers,
the prison officers, the military.
Sending love from Monaco to our frontline personnel all around the world.
One of the things I really appreciated about that, Richard, is I reached out to some of my old Miss Universe colleagues and members, delegates from Miss Universe who I hadn't spoken to in such a long time. And they all just said absolutely and jumped on board. So thank you to all of those persons who would have participated, not only in the We Are a Global Family intervention, but all of the interventions thus far. Richard always hears me lamenting about corporate Trinidad and Tobago and corporate support, but we get what needs to be done. So it's so very important to recognize the partners who see the vision, who understand the mission, and who support.
Yeah, because, and we spoke to the whole technological age and the global shrinkage, you know, in the COVID space. One of the things that COVID actually did to enhance us as a human civilization is that in spite of the fact that we were in lockdown and we were constricted, we reached out and we made connection happen. And we also do that in the other one of our other processes called the Give, where creatives, we rewarded creatives who constantly give of themselves. And in the time of need, a lot of times creatives were the ones who suffered in situations like with the COVID pandemic, because there was no work, there was no income generating. And we reached out to them, and that was one of the good things that we felt good about reaching some of our creative brethren and sistren, and they responded really positively. Some of them were really touched, you know?
This is a time of reflection and reimagining, more so for us in the creative industry. Each of us has to devise a way forward to be sustainable in this new creative economy.
2020 has closed the old and opened the new for me. And in my experience, what it did was it really exemplified how important collaboration is for our survival.
In all, it has made me a lot more innovative in the services that I do provide.
That brings us back to where we are now on this set of O2N Life Styled, where we've partnered with OMG Media, CCN TV6 and others to make this very special series of episodes come to life. It really breathes life into the creative aspects, into human development, into building capacity and everything that really forms the O2N Foundation.
I want to take this time to say I'm very proud of you, Nicole, Dyer, Griffith. You became a protege of mine when you were going up for Miss Trinidad and Tobago, and you grew to this woman that is really involved in wanting to see sustainable development action, creative transformation, human development in a real sense, because I'm here with you. And all our projects are designed to do that. And we always try to do it masterfully and to elevate the game. you know, and with our partner at OMG Media, who believe in what we stand for, we are able to make this thing be substantive. And that's what I really feel great being part of this thing with what you're doing.
Are you trying to make me cry? Thank you very much, Richard, because as I mentioned to you before, sometimes you feel, why continue? You feel the struggle of why continue, but the continuance comes because of people like you and everyone else who believes in the greater good and who believes in the human spirit and what the human spirit has to give. And so this is why we came together to continue doing these episodes. You would have seen the human spirit, the power of humility and the human spirit in each one of our special guests over the last few episodes. And so it really was a gift, not only from us to you, from you to us, but it was a gift for everyone in Trinidad and Tobago and across the region, across the world, who would have received what we brought forward. Thank you so very much.
Climaxing with O2N Style at O2 Park, and that's happening soon, this weekend actually. It's happening, O2N Style at O2 Park, in a really fantastic location at O2 Park, really multi-dimensional show, packed with talent, packed with designers. There are 20 designers on show. It's the only one of its kind in the region, and we also have regional practitioners involved. I am so excited about that. So, O2N Style at O2 Park, our next move.
See you soon. I'm Nicole, Dyer, Griffith.
And I'm Richard Young. Bye for now.
The Oxygen with Nicole Foundation presents O2N Style at O2 Park, a festival of Caribbean style, featuring collections by game-changing regional fashion designers with a supporting cast of stellar performing talent on Sunday 28th April at 5 p.m. O2N Style at O2 Park Chagaramas, the 2024 edition. For ticket information, call the O2N Foundation at 269-7791 or check out related social media platforms. Come immerse yourself in an experience that celebrates our Caribbean aesthetic. Part proceeds will go to the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago. O2N Style at O2 Park. Style, it's in our DNA.